Hello, Mustang basketball fans, and welcome to this week's edition of Mustang Basketball with Brad Bigler. I'm your host, Kelly Loft, Athletic Communications Director at SMSU, and we talk about another Mustang split this past weekend on the road. Mustangs lose at the University of Mary, and then pull off an exciting victory against Minot State up in Minot, North Dakota. So lots to talk about in this week's show. We'll also talk about this weekend's games at home versus Concordia St. Paul and Minnesota State Mankato. And back, ever had a guest, our guest host, or guest, right. Not the host, you're the show, yeah. 3 times in 1 year, but Coach Bigler very busy with recruiting and NCAA convention or national committee stuff, so
let's just call it what it is. I'm better at the show.
Okay, well, that's what we'll do. Chad Welk, assistant coach for the Mustang men's basketball team, is with us again this week. And again, the Mustangs split a pair of games, losing at the University of Mary 74-65, and then beating Minot State 75-72. As I mentioned, we will have a look at those highlights later on in the show. But, Coach, we knew going into the trip, tough place to play. Mary beat St. Cloud State earlier this year. They played, Minnesota State very tough on the road and have played some teams very strong at home. And unfortunately, a couple of plays down the stretch, and Mary pulls off the upset win.
Right. Mary's had some really close games. They've lost some overtime games at home. They're in every game that they played. We knew going in that was going to be a difficult place to play, and it was a fun environment, but it was a difficult environment to play in. They made some plays down the stretch, and to their credit, they came out and defended us well and made us do some things that we weren't necessarily prepared to do.
Yeah, the Mustangs shoot just 39% in the game, well below their season average. Obviously, coming into the game, shooting about 50%. So Mary doing a nice job against the Mustangs that wise. Kind of a strange game, Coach, from the fact is Mustangs usually don't make a lot of three-pointers, right. But in this particular game, 12 of the 22 shots right. You make were from long range, and that just kind of shows that making threes doesn't always the end-all cure-all that you're going to win, because most of the time we make maybe 5 or 6 and we put up 80 points. Right. This time, it doesn't come out in the right way in the win column for the Mustangs.
Right. We started off. We got a lot of open looks from behind the arc in the first half. I think we were 7-17, I believe, in that first half.
Correct.
If I remember right. And a lot of those shots were definitely open looks, looks that we expect our guys to take, and shots that we expect them to knock down. Mary was really packing in the paint. And kind of taking away our dribble drive opportunities, and they did a great job with their game plan. And a lot of those shots that that we were taking were ones that in most games we expect to make. So those are shots that we drill, and those are shots that a lot of times go down for us. So.
Some of the other numbers, Mustangs, even on the rebounded boards, 34-34, which is uncommon for the Mustangs, and far too many turnovers, yep. 16 turnovers, which gave Mary 18 points on points off turnovers.
Right, and that's just it. We're not doing a very good job taking care of the basketball on Friday night. A lot of those turnovers led to points for them. We were fouling. We got ourselves in foul trouble. We had 3 guys foul out. Multiple guys in foul trouble. And that's not to say anything on the behalf of the officials or anything like that. We were just out of position and we were swiping the ball. We just weren't disciplined enough on the defensive end to be able to stop their transition opportunities and offensively to take care of the basketball that night.
Yeah, final stats, Mary 23 of 38 from the free throw line. They did their part, missing a lot of free throws to keep the Mustangs in the game. Southwest right down to the final 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes, a chance to tie it. Mustangs, though, not able to make a free throw that would have tied the game, and then Mary started to make some free throws down the stretch and win. Again, 23 of 38 from the free throw line. The Mustangs just 9 of 12. And it's just a case, maybe, Coach, where the guys got to realize you can't just show up and play. We're a team that's fighting to get a home game in the playoffs and maybe a chance to the NCAA tournament. And from here on out, we've got 3 games for sure left to go, and we need to play at a high level each time.
No, absolutely. And, I think that our guys were, maybe not as prepared as what they should have been. We have a lot on the line. We have a lot left to play for. We're trying to get into the regional. We need to make a strong showing going into these next 3 games, or these next 2, I guess, now at this point. just to build up a little bit of steam going into that postseason. The conference tournament starts next Wednesday, so we need to be prepared for that.
Well, a nice night for the Mustangs. Sean Condon, he had 23 points, a game high for SMSU, 8 of 14 from the field and 5 3-pointers, and kind of a special night for Sean. He started his career at the University of Marion, and to go back to Bismarck and to make a lot of those shots must have been very sweet for Mr. Condon.
Yeah, it was good. He was excited to get back there. He had a lot of people that he had gone to school with that were in the stands, and he was excited to come out and have a good showing. He played within himself, took the shots that were there. Couldn't ask anything more out of Sean.
Well, the Mustangs, again, lose 74 to 65. Again, the Mustangs trail by a point with just over 2 minutes to go. And then UMary closed the game on an 11-3 run to get the victory. But the next night, Mustangs head north, farther up to southern Canada, I like to say, up to Minot, North Dakota. First time the Mustangs had ever played Minot State in Minot. To the Mustangs, really a game coach of... dominated by the Mustangs for about 35 minutes, but for 5 minutes, Minot made some plays. They take the lead late. Mustangs led by 19 points in the second half. Minot State comes back, takes the lead with just over a minute to go, but Will Giddings took over, made 2 free throws to tie the game, and then hit the buzzer beater to beat the Beavers and make that trip home a lot sweeter.
Right, yeah. That's a great way to put it. We were dominant for about 35 minutes, and then E.J. Williams was dominant for 5. So luckily, Will was able to score down the stretch, hit that shot to win it, and that's exactly right, because that's a long ride home after a loss, I would imagine. So
yeah, the Mustangs 75-72 win. A big night for Giddings. He had 20 points. 5 of 8 from the field, had 3 3-pointers, including that big one to win it with 1.1 seconds left. More importantly, 7 of 7 from the foul line. As a team coach, you go 18 of 20, and it proved to be how important all those free throws were to go down to the stretch. But what was going on those first 30 minutes, because you guys really took control on against a team that has some talent, obviously, and has beaten some teams and gave you everything you could handle. But for, again, those first 30 minutes, really playing at a high level.
We were moving the ball really well. We were getting a lot of good looks in rhythm. Guys were knocking down shots. We were attacking. We got back into our rhythm a little bit of being able to dribble drive a little bit, get some people on their heels a little bit, and get to the free throw line. The thing with both these teams that we played last weekend, Minot and Mare, they're both very athletic teams. 1 through 5, they got high motor guys. They have guys that can fill it up. A lot of scores. Minot State, E.J. Williams, a great player. He hit some just ridiculous shots going down the stretch of that. Stuff with guys in his face about 5 feet behind the arc. He was just he was pretty unbelievable on that stretch. And luckily, our guys were able to get stops when we needed to get stops and execute offensively down the stretch in the last minute or two.
Yeah, E.J. Williams, 5 3-pointers, 5 of 6 from behind the arc. He had 26 points, and we've had some, a good job by those particular players, but some bad luck, because there's about 5 times this year where there's some players that maybe shoot 30-some% on the season, but against Southwest have really exploded here, and that was just another example of Williams, who can score but does not shoot at a 5 or 6 clip more often than not from long range.
Exactly. That's probably mostly the problem of the scouting report. And if that was my scout, so I'll take the blame for E.J. Williams getting off a little bit.
What? Mustangs got the win. That's all that matters. Mustangs win 75-72. You are watching Mustang basketball with Brad Bigler. Our special guest this week is Mustang assistant coach Chad Welk, and we're going to take a look at some of the highlights from this past weekend. We first start off with the University of Mary, the Mustangs in the gold uniforms, going left to right here in this opening half, Coach. And SMSU with some 3-pointers early on here, Zager and then Sean Condon, and Zager again with some threes.
So we were doing a pretty decent job of moving the ball around the perimeter there. Zags gets into the pocket there and kicks to Sean for an open look.
Mustangs force the turnover and come back the other way. And again, SMSU 12 3-pointers. And there's Zager in the corner, hitting both of his threes here early on in the first half. Nick Smith, 5 of 7 from the field, and here in the right block, making some moves, going one-on-one. You'll take that matchup most of the time.
Yeah, usually. Nice little step through by him, by Nick.
Mustangs 16 points in the paint. Nice play here, Sean, backdoor layup with Matt Zager getting the assist. Again, Condon 8 of 14, 23 points in 28 minutes. Bernard Birch trying to get that shooting touch back. This year shooting over 50% for much of the year. He's kind of struggled here the last couple of weeks, but able to get to the rim and kisses that off the backboard. And then Travis Minders gets in the act here with a three-pointer. As you mentioned, Mary kind of giving up that opportunity to shoot the basketball, and
they play the paint very well. We just moving around the perimeter, able to get some open looks.
And, of course, being very patient as well as the Mustangs hit that one. As the coach mentioned, 7 of 17 in the first half from long range. Here's Nick Smith with an and-one. Again, posting up from the other side of the paint lane. Gets the and-one.
Good footwork, good left hand.
Condon, 5 of 11 from behind the line, and here comes another one in the left corner, right in front of the Mary bench. And then Joey Bartlett, who didn't have a great night shooting, 1 of 7, and had just 1 of 5 3 attempts to go in, and this was the one. As Southwest had the lead. Largest lead was 5 in that first half. Will Giddings, the Mustangs keep this one alive, kind of a loose ball play, and Mustangs able to take advantage of it. There's a 3 by
who else?
Sean Condon making that. And moving on now to the second half, Mustangs trail by 2, 35-33. And Will Giddings here on this near side makes the pass to Mitch Wegg. And again, Mustangs very patient, driving, kicking out, and Will hitting the 3. 3 of 4. Will on the night shooting all from three-point range. Off that assist from Zager. And again, Mary able to get to the free throw line quite a bit in the second half. They built a 7-point lead a couple of times at the 10-minute mark and also the 6-minute mark, but Southwest slowly chips into that deficit and nearly had a chance to take the lead there in the last couple of minutes. Got some stops, able to tie it almost, but just missed a free throw. Again, Condon able to not only could shoot it, but to really show an aggressiveness more to the rim this year as well.
Absolutely. He's been doing a good job getting coming off of ball screens, turning the corner. He's got decent vision, and when he gets in the paint, he's definitely a scoring threat in there.
3 by Zager. Mustangs keep it going here. There's an offensive rebound and 1 for Nick Smith. And then an end out here, left side for SMSU.
Sean Condon's spot right there.
Finds the open spot. Corner 3 hits it. And Birch, who had 7 points, 5 assists, will drive to the hoop here and get 2. Most of the time, Mustangs make 12 threes. That's usually the sign of good things to come, but unfortunately, the free throws far too much to overcome. Mustangs 27 fouls in the game called on SMSU, just 13 on you, Mary. Condon nearly getting that first attempt. He does not put it up, but waits for the second pass and drills the 3. And here's a couple of plays by some seniors coming up, Bernard Birch and then Will Giddings. As he drives and gets to the free throw line. And then Will hits a 3 here to close it out for the Mustangs. But a tough loss for SMSU to you, Mary. 74-65. The Mustangs fall to the University of Mary. So the Mustangs needed to bounce back and have to do that against Minot State, as we mentioned. A game the Mustangs led by 13 at half, pushed that lead well into double digits into the second half, only to have Minot State rally back, take a 72-70 lead with just over a minute to go, Coach. And I think the big key, and we'll see some of the highlights here shortly, but not only down by 2, you get the ball back, you miss a couple of shots, but Will Giddings able to keep the ball alive, gets the rebound, hits the free throws, and then talk about what happened there in that next possession, because Minot got the ball, called the timeout, and there was a differential in the shot clock and game clock, and good defense by Southwest to get that ball back and forcing a shot clock violation.
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting turn of events there. We just coming out of that timeout, it was pretty evident that Minot wasn't really sure exactly how much time was on the clock. They had no intentions of taking that shot at that point, and luckily our guys had good awareness and were recognizing that they needed to take a shot. But didn't get one off, and we ended up turning them over on that, and there we go.
And then, of course, after that, the timeout, Mustangs, you have 5.5 seconds to go, just past midcourt. What are some of the things going through the coaching staff and the players' minds there at that particular time? I mean, 5 seconds is quite a bit of time to get it going, depending on how they defend it. And Will drove into the front court and hit the pull-up jumper.
Right. The play was kind of designed to use Bernard as a decoy a little bit. Everybody in the gym thought that ball was going to go to Bernard initially off penetration, and we looked for some kick opportunities from that point. But we kind of used him as a decoy, ripped him around the top, got it to Will, and Will just made a play. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a design anything after that inbounds. I mean, we just were going out and playing at that point, and Will did what Will tends to do in situations and knocked that down.
Yeah, he made the play as the Mustangs senior hit a three-pointer with 1.1 seconds to go, and the Mustangs win 75-72. Following our highlights, we're going to have a special guest, Mustang assistant coach James Wallace. Has been begging to get on the show for numerous years, so we're going to talk to him here shortly. But right now, let's take a look at the highlights between SMSU and the Beavers from Minot State from the BSU Dome, big arena. Got a tough place to play, I'm sure, Coach, just from the fact the shooting background's a little bit different than we're used to.
It's a big arena. It's sparsely populated, but it's big.
You're talking about North Dakota or the arena? But nice facility. But again, the Mustangs in that first half really in control from the start, led by 13 at halftime. And again, Sean Condon picking them up right where he left off, hits a three after Giddings hits a three. And Will, what a night, 5 of 8, 3 of 3 from behind the arc.
A little dump down and finish for Mitch Wagg.
Now the Mustangs here, we move quickly into the second half. Zager to the free throw line and has the ball tipped away, take advantage of it, and another nice layup for...
That is the play that we drew up coming out of half right there. That's exactly the way it worked.
Mustangs 42-29 lead at halftime. Here's Way, kicks it out to Birch, and he'll drive and draw the foul. SMSU quickly pushed that lead, SMSU, to 15 points early in the second half. And then eventually got it up to 19 with about 11 minutes to go. There's Birch with a long 19-footer. And then Travis Minders hit a couple of baskets, including a three, and gets this one to go as well here. They'll get the pass here from skip pass over and drives to the paint. Lays it up. Joey Bartlett had a couple of baskets in this game, also a three-pointer, and connects on this one right in front of the Mustang bench. I suppose, places like this, Coach, you really got to bring your own energy to the game because there's not a lot there at Minot State.
Well, I don't know. They run out of a giant inflatable beaver dam, which is phenomenal. They have a cannon that shoots off. I mean, they're doing what they can do. They're doing their part.
When I think of the Beavers, I think of a cannon going off, I guess.
Absolutely. But it'd been a little bit more fitting if it was in Mary with the Marauders.
Yes.
Still loud and still fun.
The Mustangs still maintain a 15-point lead with 8.5 minutes left. Here's Wagg with a nice up and under move. But the Beavers, as we mentioned, E.J. Williams hitting some big shots and Thomas Korf as well. Slowly chip back into it. Bernard Birch veering off to the left wing and getting this play to go. And this is a tough play. Yeah, tough to guard that.
Step back 16-footer. If he's hitting that, then things are good.
Mitch Wagg, nice night. 10 points, 7 rebounds, 5 of 6 from the field. This is typical Mitch Wagg right there. It's exactly what you need out of him. If we can get 8 and 7 every game out of him, and the Mustangs are usually doing pretty well.
That's not a bad thing.
If we get late in the ball game as well, there's
Sean Condon pull up.
Sean hit that, and then Nick Smith will get one as well. The Mustangs struggling here, and here is the final play, the game winner.
Bernard ripping off the back. Will pops. Will going to work. Will being Will right there.
Hits the three with 1.1 second to go, and you look back here, the replay, and just making a play with a hand in his face, and the Mustangs get the win. So again, the Mustangs beat Minot State Thriller up in Minot to now come home for a couple of games this weekend versus Concordia St. Paul and Minnesota State Mankato. And as you can tell, we have added to this illustrious duo. Now we've got an illustrious trio, I should say. Mustang assistant coach James Wallace joins us here in the studio, and we've had a couple of guests here lately. We've had Tremel Barnes and also another graduate assistant. And James, welcome to the show, and we've got some hard-hitting questions for you, so be prepared. But first of all, let's just kind of talk about your background here at Southwest. You came here as a student athlete, played basketball, and some injuries forced you now moving to the sideline and spending time as a coach now.
Right. It was a great experience. Bigler offering me a student assistant position here after a few injuries ended my career. So it's been a great ride. My first year just kind of helping out with Coach Carroll and Coach McCowan, and then last year kind of stepping into that grad assistant role as we didn't have one. So. Gaining a lot of experience, and it's been a great time working for Coach Bigler, learning from him.
Yeah, you've also got, as you mentioned, who you also got to learn from. Coach Travis Carroll is now the high school boys coach here at Marshall, and Brooks McCowan at Upper Iowa, and now Chad Welk as well. So you get a lot of different variations of coaching styles, and that's something that you look for as a young coach to learn and take those things depending on what you want in your future.
Right, and it's been great learning from all these guys. Usually after you play somewhere, you kind of go and you be a grad assistant somewhere else, and you kind of get the different the different systems, different ideas from different coaches. And I've kind of stayed in the same place, but still been able to gain a lot of knowledge from different people.
Well, we asked Tremel this last week, but kind of talk about some of the roles that you have to take on as the one of the assistant coaches, not only helping Coach Bigler, but helping Coach Welk and travel and game preparation. Kind of talk about some of your duties.
Yeah, my week, usually I have a scout. Me and Tremel kind of switch off a week who has the scout for that game. And then, I've kind of taken on the role of doing a lot of video and a lot of different social media type editing things. Just kind of, as far as recruiting goes, being able to get some fun things out there for student athletes to see and kind of get interested in the program. And I've really enjoyed that. Trying to learn a lot more about video editing and really making that exciting.
Chad, I was just going to say you been in that role and been an assistant now and seen it from both sides. I mean, these guys, Tremel and James, are invaluable and a lot of different guys in the program to help you and when you're on the road recruiting and guys that need to fill in.
There's no question. I mean, those guys are an integral part of our staff. I mean, James is being extremely humble with regards to what he does as far from just from the video standpoint, but it's the stuff that he puts together and puts on the websites and does our videos for our entrance video and some things like that. He does great work and pours a lot of heart and soul into that stuff. And him and Tremel both are they're great assets to us when we're on the road, and just making sure that everything's in order, that just from a travel standpoint when we're on the road recruiting, if we need something back in the office, these guys do a great job for us.
And you're obviously keeping very busy with the things that you do now at Southwest, and it's kind of a family to get together as well at times. You've got brothers playing and coaching and doing a lot of different places in Marshall and down and we got to play against one of your brothers as well this year.
We did. That was a fun experience. The past 3 years we've played against Northwest Missouri State, and it's just been a fun thing for my family, being able to watch both of us kind of be involved with our different programs. And I'm glad I didn't have to go out and guard him. I just got to put the scout together and tell the guys what my brother's able to do.
Yes, and let's talk about, before we let you go here and we wrap up this week's show, where you're from originally and how you got to Southwest and then what's maybe some of your future plans.
I'm from Bellevue, Nebraska. I played junior college ball at Iowa Western, and after that I was recruited up here to Southwest by Coach Bigler. After that, kind of making that jump into the coaching side. But, my dad was a college basketball coach, so it's kind of something that I've always wanted to do and something that I thought I could be good at. So that's kind of the goal going forward is to stay with college coaching. I do have a undergrad in marketing and going on my master's in business.
Yeah, there's lots of options in coaching college or high school, so we'll definitely see what leads down the road for James Wallace, but very important part of that team. You'll see him on the bench this weekend as the Mustangs take on Concordia, St. Paul, and Minnesota State Mankato. And Coach Welk, these are two big games for the Mustangs. Regional rankings will come out Wednesday this week, and Southwest hopefully be in the top 10. The top 8 are the ones that move on to the NCAA tournament. But you got to take care of business this weekend. Obviously, 3 games for sure left. These 2 games in the regular season. Mustangs will host a playoff game on Wednesday, February 26th. But before we look at Mankato, we got to get Concordia first.
Yeah, the thing is, we're taking every game as a playoff game from this point forward because that's really what it is for us. I mean, we need to make sure that we're hitting on all cylinders going into that conference tournament. We need to win, these games going forward to increase our stock in the region and give ourselves a better chance of getting an at-large bid for the NCAA tournament. And obviously, we want to make sure that we take care of business against Concordia, and then we're excited for our shot against Mankato as well.
Yeah, it should be fun. Of course, the Mustangs beat Concordia less than 2 weeks ago in St. Paul, and then lost a heartbreaker to Minnesota State over in Mankato as well. So very unique. Didn't play them at all until the last 3 weekends of the regular season,
Back-to-back.
And now almost we play them 2 weeks later here at the RA facility. It's also senior night on Saturday for the Mustangs, their final regular season home game at the RA facility. James Wallace, thanks for stopping by and
thanks for having me.
Filling in this week, and Coach Chad Welk, thank you as well. Hopefully, maybe next week, Coach Bigler will be back in. But if we go 2-0,
I hope not. I like it.
2-0, we'll maybe stick with this same situation. Thanks, guys, for filling in and coming in this week. And I want to say thank you to all of you for watching as well. You've been watching Mustang Basketball with Brad Bigler here at SMSUMustangs.com and in Studio One, Marshall Local Cable Access. Until next time, go Mustangs.